New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time Show, here giving that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about a very disappointing loss, a somber loss. The Knicks lose in overtime to the Los Angeles Lakers, 109 to 113. And more importantly than losing the game, we lose our Captain Clutch, Big Shot Brunson, to what seemingly is a pretty bad ankle injury in overtime, after he was kind of putting on a scoring clinic and showing why he is one of the most clutch players in the NBA, finishing the game with 39 points and 10 assists on high efficiency. And we're going to talk about it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Tough loss for these Knicks. But before I ever get to that, hold on a second. Sorry. Before I even get to that, man, shout out to everybody who's watching this show right now. Shout out to the people up at 1:22 a.m. in the morning to talk Knicks basketball. Picks for Timmy, Sandman, Knicks. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. Shout out to Fritz. If you're up this early, like crazy like me, I appreciate you guys, and you are a crazy Knicks fan. So let's just talk about this, man. Knicks were down 9 points in the first quarter, and second quarter they started to make a comeback, led by the bench. Led by Cam, McBride, and those guys. And our bench actually got us from 9 down, pushed the lead to 12. But then also, it seemed like once we had the lead in the fourth quarter, the bench is kind of what gave the lead back. Knicks were in a tight one. You got to give the Lakers a lot of credit, man. The Lakers have won, 7 in a row. They were really good in clutch situations, and so did Knicks. We had the top clutch player, the second top clutch player in the NBA in Jalen Brunson, and it came down to last second plays. And who knows where we would be if Jalen Brunson was still healthy. Maybe we would have won this game, or maybe not. But we were in this game to win it, and it sucks. The bigger picture of this game, it really sucks to lose Jalen Brunson in this fashion, especially because it's the way it's going. The Lakers kind of handled us before, and when you're looking at how this game was shaking out, there were a lot of things to like. Although there were certain things to dislike, there were a lot of things to like. You saw OG Anunoby stepping up, and he had a scoring burst in the second quarter. You saw Jalen Brunson stepping up offensively, and even though our guys offensively wasn't clicking on all cylinders, I felt like defensively we had a really good showing. Karl Anthony Towns had 2 fouls in the first few seconds of the first quarter that kind of helped, the Lakers get on a little bit of a run. But I kind of felt like Mitch did well defensively. And I felt like when Cat got back into the game, he started playing better defensively. And matter of fact, I saw some tactical changes from our head coach in Tom Thibodeau, who started off doubling pick and rolls, but we found a lot of success when we start to straight up switch everything. Something that I've been kind of asking for months, we started to do. And when we start to switch everything, we start to look for results. We actually had pretty good results, whether it was Mitch switching on Luka, whether it was Karl Anthony Towns who switched on Luka in the first half and the second half, or whether it was Brunson was switching. We got more turnovers and more stops straight up switching those pick and roll actions, that same action that's been burning us all year, than we have trapping. So what made this game frustrating for me is it seemed like maybe we found the formula moving forward for these pick and roll situations, and we lose our top player to try this theory out on other players and other teams. So that part to me was extremely frustrating. Like, even in overtime when Luka was playing Karl Anthony Towns one-on-one. And even although Luka kind of scored on Towns twice, I thought positionally Towns was in good position. I thought he challenged those shots well. He forced Luka to fading away a couple of times, and those are the only kind of tough shots that Luka made in that overtime. Everything else was kind of fouls. It was kind of foul baiting, and like a lot was like a lot of foul baiting, a lot of just falling on the floor type of situations where the Lakers was able to get foul calls. But it's like I feel like although offensively we struggled defensively, I felt like we had more of an identity this game than we have in a lot of games before this, which is why I kind of liked where this game was going. But now we're dealing with a situation where we have our best player in Jalen Brunson, who looks like he might be down for a couple of weeks, several weeks, I don't know, maybe a month. That ankle sprain looks bad, and because he's down now, we're gonna have to figure out what other players are made of. Whether it be Karl Anthony Towns finding his touch offensively again, whether it be Deuce McBride, who should see an uptick of minutes, whether it's Mikal Bridges, who actually I thought really he didn't shoot, he wasn't really aggressive offensively, but made big plays defensively, causing steals, blocks, contests in the fourth quarter, or even OG Anunoby, who's been turning up his scoring output, who had like a big second quarter. I think he scored maybe 13 in the second quarter, and also and one in overtime, although he missed the overtime bucket. We're gonna have to see these guys step up for these next few games, and hopefully not lose that much momentum on this 5-game West Coast trip. So tough loss, man. This is a tough loss and a tough way to lose a close game, a really good game in LA. And shout out to the Knicks fans who actually traveled to LA, who try to make their presence known with the MVP chants, with the cheering when Brunson made buckets. Knicks fans were definitely in LA like the LA fans were definitely in New York the other day. And we tried to make some noise and bring on our heroes to get this win, but unfortunately we fell short. Some critiques of this game. I would say it's a close game, hard-fought game. If I were to critique something that I could possibly change, it's definitely, I would say, Josh. I will start off with Josh Hart. Now Josh Hart he's been criticized on this program, especially by me, as a guy who doesn't shoot enough. He's been losing his aggressiveness. Even his defense is kind of falling off a little bit. Today, Josh Hart, I think, turned 30 years old. I felt like he played a lot better today than he has in previous games. I still feel like he's passing up too many 3-point shots, and he makes it difficult for the team to score buckets, especially now like when he's paired with Mitchell Robinson. The court gets smaller sometimes, and that's when he needs to be more aggressive. And so my only critique would be for him to even to not be scared, not to be as scared that he was in the past. Now here's the thing about Josh Hart. At least today's game, he hit a big three late. That's something that I feel like he wasn't even doing the last couple of games. He was just scared to shoot the three at all. At least this game, Josh Hart shot 2 of 6, 33%. Would still like to see that percentage go up. I still would like to see him take some shots when people dare him to shoot, but at least he took 2. It seems like he took at least he took 6. I feel like at least he took some open ones, and at least he took the ones with the game on the line and hit them. That's the Josh Hart that I know from last season when the game was on the line. Although he wasn't hitting, I mean, when the game was on the line, even if he wasn't shooting those threes the whole game, at least he would take them in the game situations and hit them. So I'm glad he was able to get over the hump in that regard. So happy birthday, Josh Hart. There was one critique I would say is Josh Hart still take those threes when you're open. Secondly, Um, fourth quarter execution. Jalen Brunson is the number 2 clutch player in the NBA. You have to give the Lakers credit, though. They did a really good job trapping Brunson, getting the ball out of his hand, making him see 2 or 3 people once he goes to the paint. I do feel like at times when the defense has ratcheted up like that, it's time for Tibbs to get a little bit more creative. There were times when he was able to start Brunson off ball and get him back on ball by having either Mikal Bridges or Josh Hart start off with the ball in his hand, have Brunson run off a couple of screens and get him open that way. And I feel like maybe we could have done more of that in the latter quarters. Also, we also have Karl Anthony Towns here. Karl Anthony Towns is one of the best three-point shooting big men in the NBA. He's kind of had a shaky offensive game today, but it seems like as the season has gone along, we've gone away from the Cat Jalen Brunson pick and roll. And I even made a comment about a month ago how we've gone away from the Cat Jalen Brunson pick and roll in fourth quarter situations. I feel like we've only done it in the fourth quarter maybe one time. Now I don't want to complain too much because we've been perfect in these clutch situations. So if it's, I can understand the methodology. If it's not broke, don't fix. If it's not broke, you don't have to fix it. Keep going to the well. Keep going to Jalen Brunson. But I think today might have been one of those days where we can break open glass and go to a Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns pick and roll to see if we can, loosen up the Lakers defense with one of the best, with the best pick and roll duo in the NBA. Now, what ended up happening in the fourth quarter is we ended up having to go to Josh Hart. Josh Hart was unaware of the shot clock with the fourth, with the game tied, and he wasn't even able to get up a shot. You would think in those situations we can get a better shot than that, but we weren't able to, which is why the game got into overtime in the first place. All right. Yeah, but like the other thing really has to be about the bench, man. It's really the bench. It's funny because the bench was our savior today, but also our demise today. Because the starters wasn't really playing the way they were supposed to in the first quarter. The bench got us the lead in the second quarter with the defense and with the running, but didn't really keep that same energy in the fourth quarter. They were able to force the Lakers into, I think, 9 turnovers in the second quarter, which led Knicks to 33 points. So for me, when I'm watching the game, I see that we having continued success when we play defense and we're getting out and running. Sometimes we get into these lulls when we get stops and we don't run as much. But when the running is working, I think we kind of have to keep our foot on the gas and decide to run every play or every other play. Especially when you have guys like Luka, who is not a guy who's known for his defense, who can be slow-footed at times. We can get him in a track meet. We can get the Lakers in a track meet and outrun these guys sometimes. So for me, those 3 things to me had to be cleaned up for us to win. And also maybe the rebounding too as well. You know, the Knicks defensively flew around a lot. I actually really liked the way we were contesting shots. I felt like we contested shots and threes at a pretty high rate. I also kind of feel like just Mitch being in the rotation and Cat having eyes on how Mitch is guarding things has helped Cat. Because I've been talking about how Cat has been regressing defensively for about 2 or 3 weeks. And although Cat in the first quarter was atrocious defensively, I do feel like he stepped it up as the game went along and he started to turn the dial the other way. I don't know if it's because he's observing Mitch and how he plays or if it's the coaching staff getting to him, but I actually like the way that Cat was playing defense as the game moved on. We just need him to do that the entire game, and we need more Cat touches throughout the game, especially in the fourth quarter. All right. Also, interesting situation. Deuce, shout out to Glamour Knicks. Read my mind. The bench points, man. Deuce had 0 points. He's been our spark plug off the bench. It's not for his lack of aggression. Maybe the team is a little bit taller or something. I'm not sure. But Deuce had our bench was kind of struggling a little bit today. Deuce, 21 minutes, 0 points. Was a +4 though. You know defense is there. The fact that he's gonna be a threat from three is gonna open the floor a little bit. But zero points from Deuces is interesting. 0 for 6. Mitchell Robinson, I liked his activity as well. I feel like Mitch did a really good job playing defense. Really good job. Really, like, to me, watching Mitch play defense this season, he seems even better playing defense at the 3-point line than he was last season. I don't know how it's possible. Maybe he's just watching a lot of tape. But I really like the way he was playing defense this game as well. Landry Shamet is actually coming along. He's been shooting threes at a pretty good clip. The Knicks didn't shoot well, but we ended up shooting, what was our 3-point percentage? We ended up shooting 23% from three. Josh Hart 2 for 6, OG Anunoby 4 for 11 for OG. He actually started off shooting pretty well. He ended up shooting only 36%. But no one really shot well from the 3-point line except for Landry Shamet. And Landry has actually been shooting well from three the last few games, as it seems to be an uptick. So maybe noticing trends, maybe this is something Tibbs should also look at moving forward, is what Landry Shamet does offensively throughout the game. Especially in situations where it's like, okay, Landry Shamet is shooting well. And I know that Tibbs likes campaign, and sometimes he likes to get him out there to set up the team and play defense and shoot threes. But sometimes with Cam, he's really hit or miss. And when you're playing a team that closes out defensively pretty quickly, I feel like Cam Payne's 3-point shooting gets a little bit diminished just because he takes a very long time to set up. And in that case, you might have to lean more towards Shamet just because he's just a better natural movement shooter. So maybe that's something else to think about long term if you're thinking about mixing and matching lineups. A little bit more Shamet since he's coming along, and Campaign depending on the flow of the situation. But those are my insights for the game. Hopefully, we got a tough schedule coming up on the road, and hopefully we start to turn it around when we come to this West Coast trip. Now, shout out to the people in the chat, man. Yo, I have no energy left. I'm dead tired. But I'm glad you guys are rocking me as I talk Knicks after this brutal loss to the Lakers. Let me get to these comments real quick. Adrian says, having to inbound in the backcourt allowed Lakers to set up against Brunson and took more time off the clock to set up a play before OT. This team is horrible out of timeouts. Yeah, I feel you, but sometimes it's just easier to get the ball in the backcourt than get like an 8-second violation, especially when you have limited timeouts left. You rather just throw the ball in the backcourt and go get it, and then get not an 8-second. I'm talking a 5-second count. So that's something to keep in mind when you see things like that. But I do understand what you're saying. You got to give the Lakers credit. They really ratcheted up the defense as the game went on. Glamour Nick says Brunson's absence could give some players the chance to step up and gain confidence for the long haul. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting development. There's been times when we struggled without Brunson, but also this season we've actually had a good chunk of time where we've been successful with Brunson on the bench more so than last year. So it's funny. I feel like short term we might lose more games. I can certainly see us losing more games because we don't have Brunson for this stretch. But long term, this is a situation where other players can step up, and it can prove to be even more fruitful for us in the playoffs. Whether it be Cat getting some more playmaking chops, whether it be Deuce getting more minutes in certain situations, or whether it be Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby getting to handle the ball more and be more aggressive. I think I feel like next man up, man. I feel like this, because Brunson is down, it's gonna give another man a chance to step up, and maybe it will unlock something else or another wrinkle for us in the playoffs. All right. Stanley Novak says there is a serious talent on the bench that doesn't play at all. That is Tyler Kolek, a guy who can bring some new looks for 3 minutes a half. It's possible. It's possible that Tyler Kolek can be unlocked in these situations. I can definitely see Deuce playing more minutes. I can definitely see Campaign playing more minutes. But considering the fact that we need a table setter, this might be a situation for Tyler Kolek. I don't know how to. It really depends on what the defense is looking like in the eyes of Tibbs, really. Because when you're looking at a roster between Campaign, Tyler, and Deuce, Tyler is the more talented table setter out of those guys. Campaign is the NBA vet who can plug in, and he's erratic, but he also sometimes when he has more minutes, he can shine more. Like you've seen that when he was with the Phoenix Suns. When other players went down for long stretches, he stepped up. So you never know. Campaign might even just step up and be a little bit more reliable than he has been. And funny enough, how people don't see Deuce as a point guard, it's really interesting because Deuce McBride, when Deuce McBride first got here, everybody was saying that he's a natural point guard because he passes first. And then, like, as time went on, people started to see him as a shooting guard, me included. This might be an opportunity for Deuce to grow his game as well, to be more of a combo guard and not just a spot up type of shooter. We'll see which direction Tibbs goes, but I'm interested to see what direction he goes in. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to 3 Months Just on TikTok. He says the last few plays we needed a playmaker. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. And as soon as I shouted him out, he left TikTok land. But yeah, as soon as I shouted him out, he left. But shout out to you, 3 Much. Rich says Bridges only took like 6 shots for the game. Yeah, Bridges was interesting this game. He really just kind of locked in on defense and just swinging the ball to OG. And funny enough, I feel like I usually complain about Mikal's lack of aggressiveness. I didn't complain as much because OG had it going, and I kind of felt like he was finding him. And Mikal was really good defensively, especially at the end of game situations. I almost thought he had like another game-saving blocking defensive plays in the end of the fourth quarter. But like this is one of those situations. If we won the game, I probably wouldn't notice it as much. But because we lost, you look at Mikal and say, 6 points, only 6 shots. Could we gotten more out of Mikal? You know what I'm saying? But the interesting thing about the way this team is unfolding, we thought Mikal was going to be the third option. We thought he would be the playmaker because of what his stint in Brooklyn. But it just seems like today, in this phase of the Knicks, OG just wants it more. And Mikal is naturally kind of passive. All as talented as he's naturally kind of passive. So he seems like he's fine with OG taking the front seat and him kind of taking the back seat. But these next few games, he has to step up and be in the front seat with Jalen Brunson not being able to go, especially tomorrow because we got another game tomorrow. Prime Minister of Sports says Cat is horrible. Cat, 3 of 13 from the field, 23%. 1 of 6 from 3, 16%. -1. Offensively, he's been really rough to watch after the All-Star break. After having kind of an MVP type season in the first half. And you think maybe it could still be the thumb? It could still be the thumb. Like it seemed like there was a stretch where he was shooting better with that sore thumb, but maybe it was he never really got over it, and it could be affecting him today, because like even his 3-point shot, it seemed like it was coming back for a second, is now back to atrocious, 1 for 6 from 3. So for sure, we're going to need Cat to step up. But yeah, we just need more from him. At the same time, though, I kind of feel like the calls against him have been a little bit ridiculous. You know, like overtime, Cat is fighting for the ball with LeBron James. LeBron James falls out of bounds with minimal contact, and they call a 5th foul on Cat. Like, there's certain things like that are kind of frustrating when it comes to Cat and the lack of calls he's getting. For sure, without Brunson, we're going to need him to step up, but damn, we're going to need the refs to help us along and actually give him a whistle or two sometimes. Because, man, it just seems like after the second month of the NBA, they just stopped calling fouls for Cat for Cat's favor at all. It's kind of weird to watch. Amanda Bima says maybe we can't end down because coach calls no plays and no practice. I'm not gonna hold you. We do have problems inbounding sometimes. Now, the no practice thing, they do have practice, but it's funny how narratives change, because before Tibbs was a coach for the Knicks, the narrative was he practiced too much and he ran his players in the ground because he had tough practices. Now it's flipped, and it's like, oh, he doesn't have enough practices. But from what I understand in the NBA, because I'm not in the NBA, the whole NBA kind of runs something like that. When there's a bunch of games, there's not that many practices to run. So until there's like a bunch of days off is when you might have a practice or two. So maybe that's where we're at right now. All right. Sandman, shout. Sandman says, Jay, you solo? Yeah, I'm solo today, Sandman. Everybody else is asleep. Lee's, he's out with his pop, so it's slow. It's solo. I would have asked somebody to join me today, but I'm the only one crazy enough to try to do a post game after midnight. So I'm not gonna do that to anybody else. Sandman says head coach is the biggest problem of the team, and only blind fool doesn't see that. Sure, we will revisit, especially if we get knocked out in Detroit in the first round because of okay. So I'm guessing Sandman is blaming this loss on Tom Thibodeau per usual. But could Tibbs have done something differently? I definitely feel like I felt like Tibbs coached a decent game. I feel like he made some defensive switches in the second quarter that caused us to kind of go on a run. My only critique on Tibbs this game really is the fourth quarter stuff. Is maybe we could have run some kind of variant offense to get JB open or involve Cat. That's really my only criticism of Tibbs today. But at the same time, we've been really good in these tight games in fourth quarter situations. Luckily enough, we have one of the best fourth quarter players in the game, and it's been working for us. So he didn't choose to go away from it today, and it bit us in the ass. But maybe this was the day to go away from it. All right. Chris Alessandor says they are reporting that JB's ankle is sprained. Sources told Chris Haynes. Figured it was sprained. I think the real question is this is a mild sprain or a serious sprain? How long will he be out? That is the real question. Felicia Lee says, Cat, at least this game deserves a break. When a friend dies of cancer, it affects everyone differently. Good point, Felicia. Very good point, Felicia. There was a chance that Cat didn't even show up for this game. It was reported that he would need some time, and we didn't know how much time was actually needed for Cat to join us, and he might not even join us on this road trip at all. So I commend Cat for fighting through the tragedy, only missing one game and deciding to join his teammates on this road trip because who knows how long he could have been out. He could have just been out the whole 5 games. So you're absolutely right about that, Felicia. You're absolutely right about that. All right. I've talked about everything I need to talk about in this game. The only other thing I want to mention are the bruh picks, man. I got some bruh picks today. I got some bruh picks. There was a bruh pick that I forgot to mention last game that I want to mention in this game, and there's a new bruh pick that I have to mention. All right. Wait a minute. I see Anarchy AR Studio before I get to the bruh pick. He typed something. He said, "Team too soft and can never guard the 3. SMH Cat should have been benched in the 4th quarter and put in Mitch." Yeah. Actually, I'm not gonna hold you. The Knicks have been really bad defensively from 3 all season. Today, I don't feel like we did bad from 3. The Lakers were held to 33% from 3. Gabe Vincent, who was shooting 7 for 33, actually hit 2 big ones today. Funny enough, the 3-point shots that were open were the ones I didn't want to open. I felt like we contested most of those threes except for those Gabe Vincent threes, to be honest with you. But I'm with you for the most part. Like, I feel like our 3-point defense has been pretty bad all season. Today we had some lapses in the 4th quarter. I think we were pretty good this season. I feel like we had more problems rebounding the ball after the defense than the actual 3-point defense. To me, all right. Actually, I actually feel like we took a step in the right direction defensively. If I'm really being honest with you, I think this is one of our best defensive outings in a while. Yo, what up? Tell him, man. What's good, bro? Good to see you. Tell him. Good to see you. Can you call in, please? Sure, why not, man? Give me a second. Let me just set it up. Honestly, tell him I didn't expect anybody to come in and say anything at 3 a.m. But I'll set you up real quick. With the quickness, just give me 1 second, all right? Tell him. Give me 1 second. All right. I'm just setting it up. I'm just setting up the Discord. Setting up the Discord real quick. I'm putting it in the chat. Shout out to y'all though. Hold on. Discord link. All right, I got the link in the chat. Tell them if you want to join. All right. Did you see the link in the chat? The link is in the chat. While we waiting for Tell 'em, shout out to Nick Yak and everybody else is rocking with the KOT show, man. All you guys are up late. I appreciate you guys and the support. After we have Tell 'em, give his little 2 cents on this game. I'm gonna get to the broad pick because there's a couple of broad picks I want to get to, and after that, we're gonna wrap it up. And I'm definitely gonna do a show tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll be a winning show, a show that talks about a win. Hopefully, we get more news on Jalen Brunson. That's good news. About a timetable, maybe it's not as bad as we think, although it looked bad. He did look to kind of walk off on his own power a little bit. So maybe that could be something to look forward to. But hopefully we get more good news moving forward. All right. All right, tell him I brought you in the chat. Can you hear me?
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Testing.
sir.
Am I clear?
Yeah,
you can hear me? Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up? Jay Ellis, what's going on, man? Shout out to everybody enjoying the KOT show. Boom, boom, boom. Check it out. Yo, we're going to have to wake up, son. You know, tonight's results, obviously I wanted to win, but the results don't matter. What matters is that ankle of my man's Beluca, Jalen Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
My man's Brunson got hurt. I'm sad. The morale is down. The morale is low. But I need everybody to pick it up because we could get something good from this. Let me break it down. Years ago, I think this was 2022, the Evan Fournier Kemba Walker year. December, right around my birthday, everybody basically died. And we had to go to the babies. And right before Corona took out the whole team, Deuce started to play. Look how that led to him carving out a role right now. Now, I'm not saying Dottier, Kolick, they're going to get burned. We know they're not. But at the end of the day, we're going to get possibly a different version of Bridges, a different version of OG. Tonight in that last minute and change, offensively, they needed to step up. They weren't able to. Cat as well, he wasn't able to. However, if they play a few games without Brunson and they develop, it's kind of like the Miami Heat. They had to play without Butler for so long that there's a different version of Tyler Hero playing right now. You understand what I'm saying? A different version of Adebayo playing right now. So now they can adjust to whatever they have to adjust to. Bridges and OG, I'm hoping, could use these games to get nice without Brunson. So when Brunson come back offensively, they're more potent. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to have a little bit of optimism because our mans went down. We don't know how long it's going to be. And, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to give up. I want to continue to fight because I still see that we could carve out something for maybe next season to be nasty. You feel me? But I'm not ready to give up. I'm ready to keep fighting. I know it's late. I know we in the West Coast losing right now. I think that our next game might be against the Clippers. But I think we could take them. I don't care about that 50 points from James Harden. I think we could take them. We could handle them. And I think we could take anybody because we got a lot of talent. This coach, obviously, he's never been my guy. But at the end of the day, I do believe he's going to get a little funky, a little creative. And that might also help us out, just like having Bridges and OG play a few games without our guy. So we're going to see what's up at the end of the day. Big Mitch is back. That's going to help us out. Maybe get Cat more rest. And we're going to see what's good, baby. Everybody keep y'all heads high. Keep y'all heads up. We fought tonight when we should have got smoked. Everybody keep talking about, Celtics, OKC, Cavs be smoking, y'all. What's up tonight? It was a number 2 seed, and we kept it close. What's good? Shout out to Orange and Blue, baby. Let's hold it down.
What's good, yo? Shout out to my guy, Tell him, who brought the energy and the optimism today. And it's pretty much what I've been saying in this program, man. It sucks that JB is down. But at the end of the day, it's another opportunity for somebody on this Knicks team to step up. And we have a lot of guys and a lot of X factors who can step up and show us something a little bit more, whether it be Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, or Karl Anthony Towns. I see Karl Anthony Towns' assist numbers coming up. I see Mikal Bridges scoring a little bit more. I see OG taking the next step. OG left the Toronto Raptors because he wanted to score more. Now listen, man, it's your time. It's your time. You've been stepping up as of recently. There'll be more shots to go around. So it is doom. Short term, we might lose a couple of games. But in the long term, it's really going to help us figure out who has it, who's going to step up, and who can carry this team even further without JB. Because in the playoffs, when it gets to those non-JB minutes in the playoffs, we'll be veterans at it by then. So hopefully that is the outcome of the JB injury right now. And hopefully he's just not even out for that long. All right? All right. You can join. Like, hey, I'm not sure why it didn't work for you. I'm not sure why it didn't work for you. You can try for sure. Did you see the link? I'll hold on a second. Watch Entertainment. Go ahead, watch Entertainment. Let me know if that works for you. Hopefully it does. I'm not sure. Let me know if that works for you. Okay, see, now it works. See? All right, I'm about to bring you in. Yo, what's going on? You're live on the KOT show. Not sure why it didn't work for you before, but it worked perfectly fine this time. What's going on, Wash?
Jay Ellis, well, go on. You can hear me? Everything clear?
Yeah. Well, go on. What's good, man?
First of all, it's been a minute. I've been watching you for a long time, like since the SoundCloud days. So definitely, it's been an honor. I appreciate you.
Oh, that's
Everything you do, all the work you do. I know how hard it is to, put all this out, win, lose, or draw. But I really appreciate you being one of the grassroots pioneers of the Knicks fandom on this space. So again, appreciate everything you do for us.
Yo, I appreciate that, man. People don't even know it started on SoundCloud, so that means you've been around. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that you
I've
still
been
here is, like,
around.
kinda crazy.
I've been around for real. But I want to say first off, like at this point, JLS, like we've been watching and we hold certain players accountable. Speaking of Mikal, first off, like I just want to make it clear, like I am 100% backing the move to get Mikal because we be forgetting as Knicks fans, like we didn't know how the team was going to improve a year ago. Like we didn't know how it was going to go. We all heard the murmurs of acquiring Mikal, but we didn't know like how we would get him. At this point, there's no other person that I would have, like maybe you can say Giannis, but we don't know. Like we still don't know. For what we could have acquired, I'm not mad at the acquisition. But at this point, other than him having to get through whatever he's getting through, I don't feel like our coach is putting him in, not him alone, but the team at times. Because it's like, yo, JLS, we see the vibes. Like, we see the ball movements. Like, we see the handoffs. We know that we have the ability to do certain things. We have it in our tool shed, but it's like we hamper ourselves. Because you see a game like this, JJ Redick has already made his counters. His counters is to, sustain life until the end of the game. Then you stifle Jalen Brunson at the end of the game. We know this. What does Tibbs have to adjust to that? Nothing. And it came into fruition at the end of the game. He's going to double JB. People are going to say, what could he have done different? Every team in the league, they ISO their best player at the end of the game. Bro, if you have Cat high post, you have Cat high post, you have OG far corner, they're going to double. The same play you ran that JB swung the ball to OG for the game winner the other day. It's the same difference.
Now, listen, I don't completely disagree with you, bro. Jalen Brunson has been, like I said, top 2 clutch player in the league. We've gotten away with him just beating people off the dribble and doing his thing. And we've been, 10-0 in clutch situations with him doing that. They did a really good job kind of blitzing him. And you might have came on late, but there was a section of the program when I talked about if there's anything I would do differently is run some pick and roll with Cat and Jalen Brunson, because that is still the number 1 pick and roll option in the league. We don't really run it in the fourth quarter. Like I said, it's hard to complain because in the fourth quarter situations, this is the first time we've lost in clutch moments in the whole entire season, so it's hard to complain. But when you're having problems running the offense for like 5 or 6 straight plays, then you're like, all right, cool. You know what? Let's go back to that thing that's been working before that we've kind of gone away from, and I don't think we did that today.
Yeah, I don't know, JLS. Like I said, I'm not Menace Police. I'm not Fire Tibbs. Like, I'm just, like, I'm a fan. I've been here for a long time. Like, I've seen it all. So, like, the petulancy and the babiness of the fan base is, like, it's crazy. Like, if you've been here for a long time, then you know that, like, this is one of the best you feel, like, being a Knicks fan, watching us play, watching us compete. But even with that being said, JLS, like, I'm going to just keep it a bean. I'm not Fire Tibbs, and there's no immediate replacement for him right now. But at this point, to me, like, the proof is in the pudding. He's just not he's not built for the modern day game. Like, even just the fact that we don't look to prioritize attempting threes, not even just making them, Jail. It's like attempting threes set times in the quarters where it's like, all right, let's get these off so that now that the opposition doesn't have a rebounder, or let's look at this lineup to see if we can impact the team differently. Like, we don't do any of that at times. And it's just like, to me, in my opinion, and this is where I kind of washed my hands with Tibbs a minute ago. He's improved and he's impressed me with certain things, but I knew in my heart as a Knicks fan that I didn't want him here is when the Atlanta Hawks series, which I preface a lot, because in that series, I remember, especially you too, JLS, we were looking at Tibbs like, bro, we're watching these teams triple team, like we're watching the Hawks triple team Julius. You're going in these pressers saying, oh, we have to read and react, but we're not making any passes out of the triple team. It's like we're not doing anything to adjust. You're saying it, but you're not. All the accountability that you held, you're not saying anything about Julius Randle passing that out. We're not attacking Trae Young in the opposite end of the court. Trae Young is gallivanting in the garden left and right, and we're not attacking him at all.
Right. Listen, that was then, yo. I'm not gonna hold you. You've been here. I was on the fire. It took me, I got on the fire tips train, what, 2 seasons ago? I think it was 2 seasons ago. It's been a while. It's been a minute. But like at this point, Tibbs has his flaws. He definitely has his flaws. If you're gonna replace him, it's like, all right, then with who?
Yeah,
there's gonna be a point where you're like, all right, every coach has his flaws at some point. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's funny because Tibbs we played Miami, we beat Miami the other day. Ware was killing us all game in the first half, didn't play in the second half. If Tibbs did that, Lord, the fan base would have had his head. Now, imagine Spo did that with the Knicks. That Spo was regarded as one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Like I said, I'm not firing him. I'm not just like but like I'm just done, Dale. It's like I don't know. It's like asking a leopard to change his spots. Like there's only so much more I can watch and just be like, well, Tibbs may do this. Like, yes, he's a way better adjustment. Like he adjusts in the playoffs better. And then again, I give him credit. When we played Philly, the JB when he started Deuce McBride, the JB Deuce 1-2 screen. That busted their whole vibe. Like, I give credit when credit's due. Like, Tibbs does make adjustments, but it's like, why is it so far in between? Why do we have to wait so long? Why is it, when the playoffs start, Tibbs are gonna, like, bro, games are meant to be adjusted in the regular season too, bro.
I feel you. I get you. I understand because, like I said, like he's not perfect, but it's like it's just hard for me to go. You know what it is? I think right now we're dealing with expectations. I think that's what it really is.
For sure.
We didn't really have...
And it's year one. And it's year one too. So again, I can't that's another thing that we have to preface it with too. Like no team looks like the Knicks. We want the team to just be the number one seed and obliterate everybody, go through the playoffs like the Celtics did last year and win the chip like that. But again, these are the hard times that we got to go through. And being Knicks fans, we know about a lot of the hard times. Like we know about it. So you want to fast forward through that stuff, and sometimes you're not gonna be able to, which is why, like, I get frustrated with Tibbs too. But I'm gonna see what he does in these playoffs. I'm gonna see how he does these playoffs, see how he play with these teams in these playoffs, and then go from there. If hopefully we don't get bounced in the first round. I don't think we will if we're healthy. I don't think we will. Nah, me neither.
I think we'll make it to the second round. I need to get to the second round and be competitive in the second round versus these Cavs and Celtics. And then see where we at. That's how I see it with Tibbs anyway. But I appreciate you. Man. I got somebody else on the line. I appreciate you coming in, man. Sure. Now that you know it's working, you can come in a little bit later too on some other shows.
No, for sure. We'll be here. Appreciate it again. Thank you.
Yo, appreciate you, man, for rocking with us so long, man.
For sure.
All right. Now I see Pix. Pix is in the chat. He's in the queue for Discord. Let me bring Pix in real quick. Yo, Pix, what's going on? I see you, my guy. How you doing?
Yo, what's good, Jay Ellis? How you doing, man? Tough loss, man.
Yeah, man. Tough loss.
Let's get into it, man. Yo, I feel bad about losing JB. I'm looking forward to him getting healthy. I'm also looking forward to this man having this moment of silence to sit down and see how things work without him on the floor. Sometimes that bench gives you that sacred silence to really sit back and see how you could do things easier. Because while he does have, the ability to be able to score 40 points every single game, be able to make, decent passes, be able to split the defense, get out of double teams, we have a different team than we had the last time we were heading into the playoffs. And there's no reason for you to head into the playoffs not feeling the surety that Bridges can contribute to the last closing minutes of the game. Not feeling like you have to hurry up and make emergency passes to Josh Hart with less than like 2 seconds left after, a broken play. Like, Brunson, as good as he is, like, a lot of what we're seeing, he needs to read a little bit faster. And I've seen him make adjustments. Like, if we want to go back to the Miami series against Spo, and this was a while ago, I've seen him make those adjustments on the fly, and I expect him to do the same. But we have to be able to get all of these guys involved. I felt like we really went away from the opportunity to get Cat involved later on in the game.
Right.
OG was hot. We went away from him for a second.
Right.
Bridges never even really saw a chance to really get into it. And, it's okay. Sometimes you get in the flow as a player. But the strength of our team is all 5 men on the court can kill you. We're not talking about just one person and being able to isolate one person. We can even go back to the Golden State game. Since all 5 men on the court can get at you, there's no way a Steph Curry can be hitting on defense.
Right.
And now we're going to have a chance to see that dynamic change just a bit. Because with JB, of course, defensively, he's not the greatest defender, even though he has been playing his butt off recently defensively. I got to give it to him. He really stepped it up.
Good, even today.
But if you're inserting the Deuce into that starting lineup now, you're going to have some legitimate fortified defense coming out there. And I think when we're talking about playing to your strengths, for Tibbs, defense is really what that's the best part of his coaching. And I'm expecting us to be able to increase our steals per game by probably like 2 to 3 steals per game, and also increasing the pace. This game against the Lakers, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but when the pace increased, when we were able to push the pace against them,
sure did.
Everybody looked more natural. Like, OG was getting easy shots. Josh Hart was getting easy shots. Darn near everybody was getting opportunities that aren't normally there. It's great that we can run a half-court offense, and you'll need that during the playoffs. But with the personnel that we have, they thrive with a faster pace. So I think there's some things that we're going to learn about this team during this period without JB. And I'm just looking forward to us being able to really lean into the strength of our team, which is all 5 men on the floor are going to be killers. But that's what I got for you, man. Late this night, man. Take it easy, JOs.
All right, man. Good call. Shout out to you. I got picks. You're funny enough if you want to look for a negative. So JB, one of the best clutch players in the NBA. Without a doubt, right? But I do feel like he's so good sometimes that it can make others bad sometimes. Because kind of what Timmy said, I think other players got cold and they got out of rhythm. And once he actually got injured, it was time for other players to make a play. Like, they were kind of just staying out the way for so long. Now you have to kind of get right back into killer mode. And sometimes it's hard to do when you're not involved in the basketball plays besides setting a pick for JB and getting out the way. So, I mean, like I said, this is stuff that in the short term, we're winning games and it's going to help us because JB is that guy. He can make the clutch shots. He's the reason why I've been in all these clutch games. But in the long term, if you can involve other people within the play, when things happen, when the defense collapses, other guys can be ready to contribute at a moment's notice. Today he wasn't ready to contribute at a moment's notice. Maybe OG was for a second when he got that the and one bucket in overtime and missed the free throw. But other guys need to stay ready and stay warm in those situations. All right, man. I'm gonna get to this part of the show now. Because thank you guys for joining the chat on Discord link. But I'm going to get to my other part of the show, which is the bruh picks, all right? The bruh picks are usually the stupidest things that happen in this week, or something bad on the court, or something stupid or something dumb that you just want to point out and say this is stupid and this is dumb, and that's what we call a bruh pick. So one of my first bruh picks is something that I actually missed the other day that I meant to point out. And this bruh pick goes to Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague. Now, Jeff Teague went on his podcast. Now, this is before Kyrie Irving was injured. He was healthy. He was having a good season. And he talked about how he would trade. He talked about how he would trade Kyrie Irving. How he would trade Kyrie Irving for Jalen Brunson. And he felt like Knicks fans would not be mad at that. And I would have to say to that, bruh, hell no. And one of the biggest reasons I would say no is age. We have a guy in JB who's still under 30, getting buckets, one of the best clutch players in the NBA. Why would we trade Jalen Brunson, a cornerstone of our team, for Kyrie Irving? Now, granted, Kyrie Irving is an amazing player, but he's missed a bunch of time for years, injury prone for years. So for him to make that statement, to me, was kind of just idiotic. And unfortunately, Kyrie Irving got injured, tore his ACL in his knee a few days after that pick, which kind of exacerbates my point. But prayers up to Kyrie Irving. Don't want to see that man hurt. He was having a horrific season before that happened. But just the age difference alone is why I wouldn't even want to do a move like that. It just seems idiotic. So definitely a bruh for that take by Jeff Teague. Another bruh I would like to point out is Draymond Green. Now, Draymond Green is a known Knicks hater, so no matter what happens with the Knicks, he's going to find a way to take shots. At this point, I feel like he just takes shots at the Knicks for ratings, because I feel like he sees that he gets engagements for taking shots at the Knicks. You can remember last season he was talking smack about the Knicks, and I feel like a bunch of people actually called him out on Knicks Twitter in the Knicks content creation field to have him debate his asinine takes, and he was ducking smoke. So I feel like if you a guy ducking smoke when it comes to the Knicks and its talk, you shouldn't be talking about the Knicks if you ducking smoke, unless you're ready to get, unless you're ready to face that head on. So you already know my bruh pick has to do with Draymond Green and the fact that he says he felt like Cat missed a game with the Golden State Warriors because he was ducking Jimmy Butler smoke. Bruh. And it's like, bruh, the Knicks just played Jimmy Butler in Miami, well, a couple of months ago with Cat, and Cat's dropped 40-something points on him. Matter of fact, Cat has a winning record against Jimmy Butler. So, like, the fact that he even mentioned that without knowing why he missed the game is crazy, especially considering what Karl Anthony Towns' family is going through right now. Karl Anthony Towns missed the game because his girlfriend's aunt passed away. So I know right now he's feeling extremely dumb. So huge bruh pick for Draymond Green, who made a comment about Cat ducking the smoke for Jimmy Butler, not knowing the entire situation. Just extremely idiotic. Bruh. All right. Shout out to the chat, though. I'm about to end this. It's late. I feel like I've seen some new faces. I saw some faces come in after I went on my little soliloquy. D Bucket says Knicks up by 4 with 3 minutes left, and Towns and Hart can't come down with the rebound. Lakers then get a 3. Huge play in the game. If we get that rebound, I believe we win the game. Your rebounding was a big issue. I felt like we were really good with our rotations and our defense. Sometimes, though, when you scrambling around, it prevents you from getting the rebound. And I think that's where we left. That's where we lost. We lost because we couldn't finish the good defensive plays and rotations with getting a defensive rebound. All right. Quad Hib says, tough loss. Big up, Jay Ellis. Salute to you, man. Shout out to Nick Yak, says he took KD away from us and trashed us. August, you talking about Kyrie Irving? Yeah, man. I'm that is true. That is true. He did trash us. All right, yo. I'm done. That's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys are up at this type of hour, you are a crazy Knicks fan, a big KOT supporter. I salute you guys for rocking with the show. I will be back tomorrow talking Knicks basketball. Probably doing it Dolo again because I know Lee is still out and Ebony, is late. So I'm the only one crazy. I'm the only crazy one who wants to do these late shows, and I get it. Everybody else has lives. I have a life too, but I just try to be consistent for my people who rock with the KOT show. So I appreciate you guys' support. All right, that's the show, guys. We will be back on tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I'm stumbling over words. Thank you guys for watching. All right. So shout out to you people who watch every show. Shout out to TikTok. I see you, Louis CF, in the chat. If you enjoy the show, if you like the Knicks talk, we'll be back tomorrow. You can hit us with a follow so you know when we're going live. All right. That's what's up. So that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. And as always,
shout out the worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We out of here. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.